atmosphere is shifting around you. You can feel it deep in your spirit. Something is happening that you cannot explain. Doors are closing. People are acting strange. Your nights have become restless. Your heart has been carrying a pressure that words cannot describe. And you've been asking God, why does it feel like everything is changing at once? But listen carefully, chosen one, this is not destruction. This is preparation. God is saying to you right now, sit down, be still, because what is about to hit your life is massive. You prayed for elevation, but you didn't know elevation would require separation. You asked God for purpose, but you didn't realize purpose would demand transformation. You begged heaven for breakthrough, but breakthrough only comes after warfare. And now the very thing that almost broke you is about to introduce you to the version of yourself heaven always intended you to become. You were never ordinary. That's why your life has never been easy. That's why you've always felt different in every room you entered. People misunderstood you before they even knew you. They judged your silence. They feared your light. They attacked your here, because your spirit carried something they could not control. You spent years wondering why you had to fight battles nobody else seemed to face. But now God is revealing the answer. You are chosen, and chosen people do not walk easy roads. Chosen people are forged in fire. Chosen people are trained in isolation. Chosen people cry tears nobody sees because heaven is preparing them for assignments ordinary minds could never handle. The enemy saw your future before you did. That's why the attack started early. That's why betrayal followed you. That's why confusion surrounded your path. The enemy knew that if you ever discovered who you truly are, entire atmospheres would change when you walked into a room. And now, you're beginning to remember. God says the season of small thinking is over. The season of doubting yourself is ending. The season of begging for acceptance from people who were never assigned to your destiny is finished. Because where God is taking you, validation from people will no longer matter. You have spent too much time shrinking your spirit to make insecure people comfortable. Too much time dimming your light so others wouldn't feel intimidated. Too much time apologizing for the very power God placed inside you. But hear this clearly. The next version of you cannot be weak. The next level requires authority. The next assignment requires boldness. The next season requires spiritual maturity. And that is why everything has felt heavy lately. God has been stripping away the old version of you, the fearful version, the insecure version, the distracted version, the emotionally dependent version, the version that kept settling for less because they forgot who they were. God is removing every mindset that no longer matches your destiny. And yes, it hurts. Transformation always hurts. The butterfly must struggle before it flies. The diamond must endure pressure before it shines. The warrior must survive battle before wearing the crown. And chosen one, your battle season is producing a dangerous level of spiritual strength. You survived things that should have destroyed you. You walked through storms that would have broken weaker souls. There were nights you cried in silence while still showing up for everybody else. Moments you smiled in public while privately asking God for strength just to make it through. Another day. People saw your face, but heaven saw your fight. And God says, I never left you. Even in the moments where you thought your prayers were ignored, even when doors slammed in your face, even when people abandoned you without explanation, God was protecting you from environments that could not carry your calling. Some people had to leave because they were connected to your past, not your future. Some opportunities had to collapse because they were too small for where God is taking you. Some heartbreaks had to happen because your spirit was becoming addicted to places God never intended for you to stay. And now heaven is repositioning your life. Watch carefully what happens next. The same people who underestimated you will soon be shocked by your transformation. The same voices that mocked your journey will become silent when God elevates you publicly. The same individuals who walked away from you will suddenly realize they lost access to someone heaven marked for greatness. Because favor is about to locate you. Not ordinary favor. Not temporary favor. Life-changing favor. The kind of favor that opens doors no human being can shut. The kind of that causes opportunities to chase you. The kind of favor that makes people remember your name in rooms you've never entered. God says what's coming into your life will not make sense logically, because miracles are not logical. Miracles are divine interruptions. And chosen one, heaven is preparing to interrupt your entire reality. The struggle has been long because your reward is massive. You thought you were being buried, but you were actually being planted. There is a difference. Buried things die. Planted things grow. And your roots have been growing in secret. Every painful lesson strengthened you. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every disappointment forced you to depend on God instead of people. You are not the same person you were a year ago. Your spirit has evolved. Your awareness has expanded. Your intuition has deepened. You can now sense things before they happen. You can feel energy shifts. You can recognize fake love immediately. God has been increasing your discernment because where you are going, not everybody can access your spirit. Protect your energy in this next season. Protect your vision. Protect your peace. Stop explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop seeking loyalty from those who benefit from your weakness. Stop returning to environments that God already delivered you from. You cannot rise while constantly reconnecting with what drained you. Some of you are still emotionally attached to people who secretly prayed against your growth. Some of you are entertaining conversations with individuals who smile in your face while envying your destiny. God is saying, enough. The next level of your life requires separation. Not everybody can follow you where God is taking you. Read that again. Not everybody can follow you where God is taking you. Some people were only meant to walk with you during one chapter. Do not destroy your future trying to keep temporary people permanent. God is removing distractions because your breakthrough is too close. There are blessings trying to enter your life right now, but your spirit must become aligned to receive them. This is why isolation has become necessary. This is why your circle became smaller. This is why your tolerance for fake energy disappeared. You thought loneliness was punishment, but heaven says isolation was training. God needed your attention away from noise, away from drama, away from chaos, away from people constantly pulling on your energy. Because your next assignment requires clarity, and clarity only comes in silence. Listen carefully to what I'm about to say. The warfare around your life is proof that something powerful is approaching. The enemy does not attack empty people. Darkness attacks potential. Hell attacks purpose. The intensity of your battle reveals the magnitude of your calling. That's why you've had moments where giving up felt easier than continuing. That's why exhaustion tried to consume your spirit. That's why disappointment kept repeating itself. The enemy wanted you tired enough to quit before the blessing arrived, but you survived. And because you survived, you are about to witness a level of elevation that will leave people speechless. God says this next blessing will heal years of pain. This next breakthrough will restore your confidence. This next season will remind you why you endured every storm. There are things coming into your life that you prayed for in tears years ago. Opportunities, connections, financial increase, spiritual growth, divine alignment, peace that cannot be manipulated by external chaos. And the beautiful part is this, you won't have to force it. When something is truly sent by God, it flows naturally. You've spent too much time forcing relationships, forcing opportunities, forcing conversations, forcing people to value you. But what God sends will recognize you immediately. You will no longer have to beg for basic respect. You will no longer have to prove your worth. You will no longer have to chase things that belong to your destiny, because what belongs to you spiritually cannot miss you physically. And this is the season where things begin finding you. You are entering a season of divine compensation. Everything you lost unfairly, God will restore differently. Notice I didn't say identically, differently, because God does not merely replace, He upgrades. The people who hurt you cannot stop what God planned for you. The betrayal did not cancel your destiny. The delay did not cancel your destiny. The mistakes did not cancel your destiny. God already accounted for every weakness, every failure, every wrong turn before assigning your purpose. Why grace exists. Some of you are still carrying guilt from old versions of yourself. Still punishing yourselves for seasons where you lacked wisdom. Still replaying memories God already forgave. Listen, you cannot step into a new season while chained to an expired identity. Forgive yourself. Grow from it. Learn from it. But stop living inside your past. Your future needs your full attention now. God says your name is being spoken in rooms you know nothing about. Divine connections are forming behind the scenes. Opportunities are aligning quietly. And suddenly, without warning, everything will begin changing at once. That's how God moves. One phone call can change your life. One opportunity can shift your entire bloodline. One encounter can unlock a door generations before you could never access. Never underestimate what God can do in a single moment. You are closer than you think. I know you've been tired. I know there were moments where you questioned your purpose. Moments where you secretly wondered if your prayers were reaching heaven at all. But God says every tear was collected. Every prayer was heard. Every lonely night mattered. And now the revised, hard season is approaching. You've entered the chapter where spiritual discipline becomes essential. Pray more, protect your mind. Watch who has access to your emotions. Not everyone celebrating with you is happy for you. Discernment will save your life in this season. Some people carry energy that can delay your momentum. Pay attention to how your spirit feels around certain individuals. Your body often recognizes danger before your mind accepts it. If peace disappears around someone repeatedly, stop ignoring the warning. God speaks through discernment. And chosen one, your discernment has been increasing for a reason. You are becoming spiritually dangerous. Not dangerous through anger. Dangerous through awareness. Dangerous through discipline. Dangerous through self-control. Dangerous because you no longer react emotionally to every attack. The old you would have exploded. The healed you walks away silently. That is growth. Your silence has become power. Your presence has become authority. And soon your success will become undeniable. People are about to witness what happens when God places his hand on someone's life. You are not lucky. You are aligned. Difference. Luck is random. Alignment is divine. And divine alignment changes everything. Get ready for acceleration. Things that once moved slowly are about to speed up. Delayed answers are coming. Stagnant situations are shifting. Closed doors are opening unexpectedly. And the craziest part, most people around you will not understand how fast your life changes, because they did not see the private battles. They only see the public reward. They did not see you crying alone. They did not see you rebuilding yourself after heartbreak. They did not see the nights you fought depression, fear, anxiety, and exhaustion, while still trying to believe God for better days. But heaven saw all of it, and heaven rewards endurance. This next chapter of your life will not look like survival. It will look like victory. You've survived long enough. Now it's time to rise. God says stop talking yourself out of greatness. Stop minimizing your gifts. Stop pretending you are average just to fit inside rooms too small for your spirit. You were born to disrupt patterns. Born to break generational curses. Born to become evidence that God still performs miracles. He is oil on your life. There is purpose attached to your existence. And there are people connected to your future assignment who desperately need the healed version of you to appear. That's another reason you cannot quit now. Your destiny is bigger than your comfort. Somebody's breakthrough is attached to your obedience. Somebody's healing is attached to your testimony. Someone's hope is attached to your survival. The pain was never meaningless. It prepared you to carry wisdom. You now speak with authority because you lived through the lesson. And trust me, the version of you emerging from this season is unstoppable. Not because life becomes perfect, but because your spirit has become stronger than the chaos around you. Storms no longer shake you the way they used to. You've learned how to remain calm while everything around you falls apart. That is spiritual maturity, and God trusts mature spirits with greater blessings. The next season requires responsibility. Manage your energy wisely. Manage your finances wisely. Manage your emotions wisely. Not every battle deserves your attention anymore. Some arguments are distractions sent to drain your focus before your breakthrough arrives. Protect your focus. Your future is expensive. and distractions are costing people their destiny every day. Stay disciplined. Stay connected to God. Stay humble while elevating. Because elevation without humility destroys people. But you've been broken enough to understand gratitude. That's why what's coming to you will last. God can trust you with more now because pain taught you wisdom. And wisdom changes everything. Listen carefully, chosen one. Within the next season of your life, you will experience moments that feel unreal. Prayers answered suddenly. Doors opening unexpectedly. Financial blessings arriving from unexpected places. Healing flowing into broken areas of your life. Peace replacing confusion. Strength replacing fear. Confidence replacing insecurity. And one day you will sit quietly, looking at your life, realizing God fulfilled promises you almost gave up on. That moment is coming. Do not quit before the miracle. Do not surrender before the breakthrough. Do not walk away while heaven is arranging your elevation behind the scenes. Everything is aligning. Even the delays are aligning. Even the confusion had purpose. Even the heartbreak redirected you toward destiny. One day all the pieces will make sense. And when they do, you will realize God was protecting you the entire time. Chosen one, this is your confirmation. You are not crazy for feeling the shift. You are not imagining the spiritual pressure. Something massive is approaching your life. And deep down, your spirit already knows it. So sit down. Be still. Prepare. Because the version of you that is about to emerge from this season will shock everyone who underestimated you, including yourself. Before God elevates a chosen one, he separates them. And that separation feels painful when you don't understand what heaven is doing behind the scenes. Suddenly people begin leaving your life. Conversations feel empty. Places that once excited you no longer feel right. You start outgrowing environments, habits, and relationships that once felt normal. And for a while, it can make you feel lonely, confused, even abandoned. But God says, you are not being abandoned, you are being repositioned. There are certain levels of purpose that cannot be reached while carrying old energy. There are blessings too sacred to be connected to the wrong people. And there are assignments on your life that require complete spiritual alignment. That is why separation becomes necessary before elevation. The truth is, some people were connected to your comfort, not your calling. They loved the version of you that stayed small, insecure, and easy to control. But the moment God started awakening your spirit, the distance began. Because not everybody can walk with you into your next season. Chosen one, hear this clearly. God will never allow your destiny to be destroyed by people who were only meant for one chapter of your life. Sometimes the breakup was protection. Sometimes the betrayal was redirection. Sometimes the isolation was heaven pulling you away from distractions before your breakthrough arrived. You thought people were rejecting you, but in reality, God was removing access to your energy. Because where He is taking you next requires focus, discipline, wisdom, and discernment. You cannot rise while constantly surrounded by confusion. You cannot hear God clearly in rooms full of noise. You cannot become powerful while staying emotionally attached to people committed to draining your spirit. And that is why this season feels different. Your tolerance has changed. Your spirit feels exhausted around fake energy. You no longer desire shallow conversations or forced relationships. That is not arrogance. That is spiritual growth. God is teaching you to protect your peace because peace is connected to purpose. Many chosen ones mistake isolation for punishment, but isolation is often training. Every great leader in the Bible experienced separation before stepping into purpose. Before elevation came wilderness. Before authority came solitude. Before breakthrough came testing. Because God develops people in private before revealing them publicly. And right now, heaven is developing you. He is strengthening your mind, sharpening your discernment, healing your emotional wounds, breaking toxic attachments, destroying insecurity, teaching you how to depend on Him instead of validation from people. This separation is creating a new version of you, a stronger version, a spiritually dangerous version. And soon you will understand why certain doors had to close. Because if God allowed everybody to stay, they would interfere with the destiny at. to your life. Some people cannot go where God is taking you because they carry the mindset of your old season. But your future requires transformation. So don't fear the distance. Don't panic when your circle becomes smaller. Don't chase people God already removed. Because every separation happening right now is making room for elevation. And when God finally reveals why He isolated you, you will realize this season was never meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you for everything you prayed for. Your struggles were never meaningless. Every battle, every delay, every sleepless night, every painful moment you survived was training you for a breakthrough bigger than you can currently imagine. Chosen one, the reason your journey has been so heavy is because your calling is not ordinary. Average people do not fight the level of spiritual warfare you faced. The enemy only attacks what carries power. And from the beginning, there has been something powerful about your life. That's why the attacks started early. That's why betrayal followed you. That's why people misunderstood you without even knowing your heart. That's why you've had to fight battles in Sierra Lens, while still pretending to be strong for everyone else. The enemy saw your future before you did. He recognized the strength, influence, favor, and purpose attached to your destiny. And if he couldn't destroy you physically, he tried to exhaust you mentally. He wanted you tired, distracted, emotionally drained, hopeless enough to quit before reaching the season God prepared for you. But look at yourself. You survived. You're still standing after everything that tried to break you. And that survival was not accidental. God was building endurance inside of you. Because the next level of your life requires strength your old self did not yet possess. You prayed for greatness, but greatness requires preparation. You prayed for purpose, but purpose requires maturity. You prayed for elevation, but elevation demands transformation. And transformation is painful. God had to teach you how to survive disappointment without losing faith, how to remain kind after betrayal, how to trust Him when nothing around you made sense, how to keep moving forward even when you felt emotionally shattered. Every storm strengthened your spirit. Every heartbreak sharpened your discernment. Every delay developed patience. Every rejection redirected you closer to your real destiny. What you thought was punishment was actually preparation. The closed doors were protection. The waiting season was training. The isolation was spiritual development, because God develops chosen ones in private before elevating them publicly. A diamond is formed under pressure. Gold is purified through fire, and warriors are built through battle. That's exactly what happened to you. The pain changed you, but it also awakened you. You now see differently, move differently. You no longer trust everyone easily. You no longer chase validation. You no longer beg for love, loyalty, or acceptance from people who cannot recognize your value. That is growth. That is wisdom earned through suffering. And now God is saying the breakthrough attached to your life will match the intensity of the battles you endured. The struggle was massive because the blessing is massive. The warfare was intense because your purpose is powerful. The attacks were constant because heaven is preparing to elevate you in a way that will shock everyone who underestimated you. Next will not look like survival. It will look like restoration, peace, abundance, confidence, divine alignment, doors opening unexpectedly, prayers being answered suddenly. And one day you will look back at every painful chapter and realize something incredible. If those struggles had never happened, you would not have become the person capable of carrying the blessing that is now coming into your life. Your struggles were not sent to destroy you. They were training you for the massive breakthrough God already has waiting for you. A sudden shift is about to change everything in your life. Chosen one, you can feel it in your spirit already. Something is moving behind the scenes. The atmosphere around you feels different. Your mind is changing. Your energy is shifting. Old cycles are breaking. And even though you cannot fully explain it, deep inside you know that the season you've been living in is coming to an end. God is saying, prepare yourself, because what's coming next will not look anything like what you've been through. For a long time, it felt like nothing was moving. You prayed, waited, cried, struggled, and fought silent battles while watching others move ahead. There were moments when you questioned yourself, moments when disappointment almost convinced you that your breakthrough would never come. But heaven was never ignoring you. God was aligning things you could not yet see. Because sometimes divine timing looks like delay when you don't understand what God is preparing behind the scenes. Chosen one, hear this carefully. One moment can change your entire life. One phone call, one opportunity, one connection, one answered prayer, one divine encounter. God does not need years to transform your situation. When heaven decides it is your time, everything can shift suddenly. That is why the enemy has been attacking your mind so heavily lately. He knows your breakthrough is close. He knows you are entering a season of elevation, favor, restoration, and abundance. And his greatest goal was to make you quit before the miracle arrived. But you survived the pressure. You survived the heartbreak. You survived the confusion. You survived the loneliness. And because you kept going, you are about to witness God move in ways that will leave people speechless. The same doors that remained closed for years, ready about to open unexpectedly. The same people who overlooked you will suddenly recognize your value. The same areas where you struggled will become evidence of God's power in your life. This shift will not be small. It will be life-changing. God is preparing to restore things you thought were permanently lost. Your peace, your confidence, your joy, your stability, your hope. Even the parts of you that pain tried to destroy are being rebuilt stronger than before. And the beautiful thing about this next season is that you won't have to force anything. What God sends will flow naturally. The opportunities meant for you will find you. The right people will recognize you. The right doors will open without manipulation. The right blessings will arrive without exhaustion. Because when God ordains something, no human being can block it. Chosen one, stop doubting the shift just because you cannot see it yet. Seeds grow underground before they become visible. And God has been growing your future in places your eyes cannot yet reach. Everything you endured was preparation for this moment. The pain prepared your strength. The waiting prepared your patience. The betrayal, prepared your discernment. The isolation prepared your focus. Nothing was wasted. And now heaven is responding to every silent prayer you cried when nobody else was around. This is your season of divine acceleration. Things that once moved slowly are about to move quickly. Delayed blessings are arriving. Financial breakthroughs are coming. Healing is coming. New opportunities are coming. Divine connections are coming. And the version of you stepping into this next chapter will not even recognize the person who once begged God just to survive. Because survival season is ending. Now it's time for elevation. Now it's time for restoration. Now it's time for breakthrough. So stay ready. Stay prayed up. Stay focused. Because suddenly, without warning, your entire life is about to change forever.